There's a gap in the market in terms of having relevant finance courses.
Right.
A course in which you apply what you do, and that's where KPMG comes in.
As students of economics or commerce, you must have studied numerous theories and frameworks during your time at a college. But after graduating, while job hunting, honestly, most of us don't quite understand how these learnings could contribute to a corporation. But to help you understand the future finance careers, we have two very special guests today. First up, I have Director Spectrum CFO Advisory at KPMG India, Subhro Bhattacharya, with me, and along with him, I have joining straight from Goa, Abhishek Srivastava. Abhishek has worked in marquee companies like Apple, Accenture, and Schneider Electric. Subhro, I'll start with you. Let's talk a little bit about the past, when it all started. You did your economics honors from St. Xavier's College. Around that time, was Subhro sure about his choices?
Did I know what I wanted to do in my career? The answer is no. So I didn't. It's as simple, like, we're talking years ago, nearly 2 decades back, when, you did a degree because you wanted to go to a good college, you had good grades. We didn't really have people coming in and speaking to us from the corporates or from, different areas of the world. And I honestly didn't, had heard the term Big Four, and, all I understood was KPMG just does audit. That's all I knew, because my mother used to be an audit partner at a Big Four firm. So for me, I didn't know what I wanted to do. What I knew is I didn't want to stay in India at that stage. So, and I had a, very interesting conversation with my mother, and she said that, what economics is just a liberal arts degree. What are you going to do with this? So she's a CA, an Indian CA. So she said, you probably need to think of a professional qualification. Then I went hunting. Where in the world can you start to study accounting right from scratch at a master's level? And I went to Australia. So that was the thing. Then I stayed on. I built my whole career, 15, 16 years in Singapore and Sydney. And then due to family reasons, I've come back now. So that's in a nutshell what. Yeah.
Lovely. Coming back to the Goa man right now, Abhishek, I totally envy you, because the weather here in Bombay is killing me, and you're having fun in that busy weather. I would ask the same question to you. When you were doing your ISB MBA, I'm sure you got some clarity as to what you want your career to be, where you are headed from there. How did this journey lead you to Masters Union now, where you are currently, working as a master?
I had a very interesting career. I was an environmental engineer and consultant through and through. I did that, learned that. I put 15 years of my life, or even more, doing that actually. Environmental engineering, was my bachelor's at DC, then my master's at Georgia Tech in the US, then working in core environmental engineering in mines and in refineries and in smelting plants, and then coming to India, doing my MBA at ISB. Interestingly enough, even after ISB, I went into an energy and environment company called Schneider, right? And after that, went and started the sustainability practice at Accenture. So for me, strangely enough, I was one of the engineers in India who actually did his engineering, right? Who truly lived it out, right? So in my second or third year, interestingly, when I did my internships at Ranbaxy and another Big Four actually, and guess what? I realized the power of experiential learning. So as I was a career counselor at Accenture, and I think Subhro would have similar structure at KPMG as well, I suddenly realized I love working with young people. And I
couldn't agree more, my friend. That's one of the reasons why I'm involved in this course as well.
Exactly, yeah. Right?
That is the passion actually. Yeah.
Exactly. And what I realized is there are two types of mistakes we make in a career. One are good mistakes, one are bad mistakes. The good mistakes are great mistakes to make, because they're the ones you learn from. But the bad mistakes are the mistakes you don't want to make. Those ones which cause career derailment, career friction, and all kinds of bad things. And I think as someone who's gone through the journey, someone like me and Subhro, who is more experienced than me, I think we kind of hold the responsibility to go back to people who are entering the workforce now to avoid them from making bad mistakes.
Lovely knowing you through that answer, Abhishek. I'll come back to you, Shukro. While I was also growing up, I used to always question myself, or I used to always wonder that these numbers that I'm learning in mathematics, or these theorems, or these very difficult sums that I'm solving, how is that going to help me in the longer run?
Sure. So I'm not going to undermine the school education. I think the math and the calculus and the stuff, the fun stuff which goes on there. But the key bit is the second one which you mentioned, is how do you put that into practice? Right. So, when you come to accounting and, and finance, accounting, you need to be good math. You need to be okay at math. You got your calculator and your computers these days, right? However, what is more key is, in terms of the actual work you do, just the theoretical debits and credits, but the actual, you can learn a lot. What does the accounting standards say? But it's the application to what you face in real life. So when, Abhishek worked at Schneider. So when Schneider is doing a business and I go to audit Schneider, I need to understand their business and, how are they coming to their calculations when, they're presenting financials for a project. So those math skills which you learn, and when you put those sort of real life problems which an auditor or a CA faces, and not just this is what the fixed asset standard says, or this is what the Environmental Protection Act says, but no, what do you actually face? I think that is the key bit. It's taking that knowledge and an application. So if a curriculum has gives you the technical know-hows, but then you get to use that in case studies and assignments and projects, that's where I think, and then when you go to work, you see, oh yeah, I'm actually going to be doing a similar thing which I did at uni.
Abhishek, I'll come to you now, taking inputs from Subhro on that. How bright do you think that actual scope that we just talked about is right now in terms of the market size? And how do you think you are going to prepare students so that they have acquired certain skills through these certifications and programs that you are doing?
Here's a stat for you. And I think the team at Masters Union, we actually put together this. If you do enough right searches on keywords across, let's say, LinkedIn and Naukri and many other sort of job websites, purely around the early career opportunities, 0 to 4, 0 to 5 years of experience, there are close to 2 lakh jobs in the fintech, financial inclusion, lending space that's there today, right? India is now, particularly I think in fintech and edtech, building products which work for it as a country, but actually can be exported to the world, because we are so heterogeneous by nature, right? We are so used to importing everything. We've imported one of the largest pieces of tech in this world,
right?
Fintech. Right. So I think that's something which is very fantastic and very unique. And when you sum up all those macro trends together, right, you suddenly realize, as a young person or a young student looking to build my career, finance, fintech, financial services, all these areas around this, their roles around R&R, P2P lending, there is so much happening around the financing space around, right? It's just absolutely brilliant. I can give you a closer example to home. My wife herself worked for Amex for 11 years, and now she's moved to WhatsApp payments. You know why? Amex is a brilliant place to work. You can retire there, right? She said, you know what? I'm missing out on all the action.
Right.
So someone closing in on 40 years of age wants to start a new line of their career. So why not somebody starting it in their early 20s?
Absolutely. And in order to start up early, in order to get there as early as possible, as you just mentioned, mentorship and coaching is very important, right? What are you making sure that happens at the Master Camp program that Masters Union is providing right now in applied finance?
I think there are two angles to it, right? I think if you can say there is this industry relevance piece and the corporate readiness piece, right? So I think a lot of the industry relevance, and rightfully so, is coming through KPMG, right? And KPMG is bringing the best curriculum, everything which is happening in the industry, bringing in this very power-packed program, as Subhro said, very intense program. It will give you a lot of pain, right? It'll ask you to put in a lot of effort, but what it will do by the time it's done with you is you truly know what's happening amazingly well in the finance, well, and applied finance.
Subhro, what makes the association of KPMG with this course a unique one when we're talking about an online course on offer or a hybrid course on offer? Tell me here a bit about the curriculum, the design that you guys have thought about it, and the outcome of the program that you guys are projecting or expecting.
It's a fully packed question. So from a curriculum perspective, you cover a lot of technical accounting. We've designed the course looking at it more from a finance function perspective. So the various processes within the finance functions, what does a fresher or a person stepping into the first role, what is he expected to do there? So we've looked at it from that perspective and we've built the course, right? So within each function, you're supposed to do some sort of work. Within that work, which accounting standards apply to that process within a finance function? So we built the course accordingly. It teaches you the fundamentals, but then goes into the processes. And then for each process, what are the standards which are applied? What is the work you do? So for example, when an auditor comes to audit a set of financial statements, he looks at the processes as well first. Right. So that's how we've taken it. That's why I think it sets this course apart from other courses as well. And this is also feedback from some of our clients who have heard about this course now, and they're coming and asking without taking names. These are big financial institutions. They're coming and asking us. In fact, I was we were in a telecon with the global head of L&D for a very large Asian bank. And she was from Australia, which is close to me because I'm Australian too, and she said that, Subhro, you filled a gap in the market. So there's a gap in the market in terms of having relevant finance courses. Right. So a course in which you apply what you do, and that's where KPMG comes in. We've looked at what is missing in people who come into the finance function, whether it's KPMG, whether it's externally, the new people we have to deal with as clients. So we are trying to bridge that gap. When they don't have that wide eye in them, when they come and do their job, they know what they're doing. That helps not only consulting firms, when students graduate, they'll be ready to get into it, right? I mean, people like us, if I have good people in this course, of course, I will consider whether, I should think of taking them in. And I'm just one Big Four director. There'd be others like me who've seen this in the press and they know what they'll get out of it. So that applies to the large global contact centers as well. So they are looking for people who are coming in and are ready to go. So I think that association with KPMG, of course, it's a big brand, and the quality of the curriculum will be rigorous and everything. But we have a responsibility, as Abhishek said, that we give them the tools to be job ready effectively, and job ready in the real sense. So I think that's, I've seen a lot of these online courses, right? They're full of them. They're everywhere. The reason why haven't I enrolled in any of them myself, and I am not I have skills to gain as well. The reason is I don't see an outcome. The clear outcome, to your point here, is these people will be job ready. There's nothing else to say about that. They will be job ready, and they will be ready to take that step in an interview. And when they're given real life scenarios of what have you done in your course, so they'll be able to reiterate, this is what I've done, and the recruiter on the other end would be all smiles. That's what you want for the students, right?
Is there any differentiation that is there? For example, somebody who knows finance only gets in there because there will be a lot of finance jargons that will be discussed and talked, or it's open for people who want to, figure things out?
Ideally, the optimal student would have done or is in the final year of a BCom or a BBA, who has, done a bit of finance, because, this is not a 3-year degree, right? This is a 6 to 7 months teaching and then application, right? So it's there. However, the way we've structured the course, if a non-finance professional from say an arts background, or someone like me who never did a drop of accounts till masters, right? I did economics, I was a science student. That person as well, if they have the drive and they understand that it's going to be a heavy, intensive course, and I'd reiterate that, right? Soft skills are there, the technical bit is there. If they want to get that job in finance, they want to move into finance, I actually see no reason why someone can't actually do that as well. But they need to have that drive and be accepting to the fact that it is going to be a challenging course.
For students who want to get into the world of finance now, the kind of jobs that we discussed, to make themselves a fit there, what are the kind of essential skills and qualities that they need? Absolutely. And how do you think you can cultivate the same in them?
So, we try and teach those skills throughout the course, right? We're trying to teach them the basic, finance fundamentals of accounting, the technical things they're going to get on a regular basis. But we're also trying to inculcate, the application. So if you study revenue recognition, it's not just the debit and credit of the revenue. We're going to give you a contract and say, you've got to review this contract and go present to your CFO. And then not only that, once the CFO approves it, how are you going to actually operationalize it? So that's the sort of things we want to do in this course. And then your report writing skills and your soft skills come into it as well.
Students who are going to take part in this program, are you going to see them in KPMG as well?
Yes, we will give them a virtual internship where effectively they will solve problems we deal with in real life. So yes, given this COVID world we live in these days, mostly the course is virtual. However, Mastercamp has been very gracious to organize cohorts and catch-ups for the students. There will be one-time sessions where if the student wants, one of the lecturers will go and meet them in person, or even hold a training in person. And then, we can solve problems. And I think that sets this course apart as well, is the flexibility of what we're trying to achieve. In the end, the outcome is we want to give the students a great learning experience. We want to not only a great learning experience, but that's the whole funnel. That's the experience, but the pipe in the end is the outcome, which is they'll be job ready.
Subhro, Abhishek, before we let you go, last question, any piece of advice for students who are right now thinking about upskilling themselves, thinking about taking that plunge and getting into the world of finance, not knowing much maybe? What is your advice for them?
One thing which is really awesome about finance as a career option to start off with, along with, let's say, maybe sales, I think these are foundational careers, right? They set the foundation for you where you can become anybody over a period of time.
I think finance is a wonderful area. It's a wonderful area to be in. It gives you security. It gives you avenues for growth. You get to see different parts of the world as you grow in your career. So I would encourage people to consider finance as part of their career.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Abhishek, Subhro, for giving us time for talking to us, about the changes that is happening in the world right now, about how you guys are trying to bring that change in the kind of idea that we have about finance and the jobs and the courses that we offer to students, so that they become aspirational, inspirational, and nimble while making their career change. If you are interested in knowing more about the course that these guys will be part of, there's a link in the description. Go check that out and decide for yourself if that is a suitable one for you to make the career. Thank you once again, guys. Have a great day.